to dating yourself. I know that the holidays can be a challenging time of year, whether you're single or you have someone that you love who has passed away, or maybe you're still grieving a divorce from the past, or just like these open-ended relationships that even if, things got better, there can still be challenges happening in the background because that's just how the unconscious mind works. Food and weight obsession can be exhausting. Losing weight, gaining weight, dieting, feeling like a failure because you missed a workout, binged, overate, or gained all the weight back. The cycle is endless and it can be maddening. But I'm here to say you can stop the mental madness. You can take back control of your food behaviors, but you have to face your fears, you have to ask for help, and make a change. I am Leslie M. Thornton, permanent weight loss coach from hpwl.co. This is Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss, and I know you can make this happen. On this podcast, you will hear how to stop the mental madness, love your body, trust your food decisions so you can create a life of happiness, freedom, and inner peace. Hello, everybody. Leslie M. Thornton, Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss. If you're watching live or on the replay in our Facebook community, Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss community, you will see that my little dog Zara is joining us today for this podcast episode. She may never look at the camera because she's just so loves to just be shy, but maybe we can get her to turn a little. Want to say hi? This is Zara. I've had her for a couple months now. She's got groomed today, and she's just as sweet as can be. We love her very much. And she's going to chill with us today as I talk about dating yourself. Recently, I took on an exercise of spending at least 1 hour per day and being in silence. Now, I'm trained in tantric meditation, which is a Buddhist form of meditation. I did a 2-year training with an amazing man here in Albany, New York. I found him back when I was hating my nursing job, was just burnt out and having a lot of career angst, and wasn't sure what I was going to do with the rest of my life. But regardless, I was having tons of anxiety. Every time the helicopter went overhead, because I live near the hospital, I'd be like, great, I'm going to have a literal train wreck tomorrow, and I'm going to be responsible for their entire life. And it was just too much pressure for me personally. I think I could be a whole different way about it nowadays, but at the time, I didn't have these tools to help me with my anxiety. So, but I did. The amazing thing was it forced me towards a meditation group. It was called a kirtan, where you do a mixture of song and dance to get yourself into trance, which yay for hypnosis. Trance is amazing to access the unconscious mind and to have more clarity and more understanding of what's going on, which is why Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss is amazing. And then you would sit in silent meditation for 20 minutes. And then I had a daily practice and continue to have a daily practice of meditation. It's taken different forms. Sometimes I would always do 20 minutes twice a day. Back when I was getting trained like that, that is what I would do. Then I got up to 30 minutes a day. And then when I was traveling, I still actually was very consistent. And then over time, it got shorter periods of time when I was busier. And then what else happened? I would do a bunch of guided meditations for a while. And so, yes. But for whatever reason, when I heard this time, which I kind of trust the things that come into my awareness that they are for me. So if this doesn't sound like it's for you, that's fine. But sometimes, yeah, it could make a difference for each other when we share what's going on. So I've been sitting usually in my hot tub and waking up first thing in the morning, bringing Zara outside, which she appreciates the outdoors and she loves being near me. So kind of found this happy balance where she'll stay out and enjoy and do all of her outdoor dog things while I'm in the hot tub. And then I set my timer for 60 minutes and I sit in silence. For many of you, that's normal and that's fine, and you could do it. For some others of you, it's like, heck no, I can't even imagine sitting that long. So you get to do whatever you like to do. But something that I have been turning towards in the last several months has been the idea of dating myself. So I could clearly see in past relationships that I've chosen why those were the people that I chose to date at that time based on what I was working on, within myself. At one point I was taking like an elegance training, so I attracted in this man that always made me feel like a queen and was a little too attached to them even when their behavior wasn't so wonderful because I just liked the feeling and experience of getting to be like that. Right. And then I saw, other people I date being like, oh, this is what your family wants, and like realizing like, oh, that's not actually me. So that last one, when it was like, oh, I finally found the person that, fits into my family like a glove, happened and it didn't work out. That one was the hardest for me because essentially that was me choosing to change my neurology to be that of what's not my family, which feels like home. Those of you who listen to my recent podcast talking about home being a place of self-hate or criticism, et cetera, will get what I mean with that metaphor. If you haven't heard that episode, check it out. But it's ultimately rejecting that old home in this like extra step way. So before, it's rejecting that home when it comes to judging myself for the way I'm eating, which I would say I'm 100% beyond now. With that said, there's certain times as I've been becoming more social that I have found myself comparing myself or, catching a glimpse of myself in the mirror and being like, ooh, wow, that one really hurt for some reason. And then, getting to do the work and continuing it that way. But yeah, for the most part, that area of my life feels amazing. And when it comes to, yes, the area of relationships in my life, which as many of you who have been my listeners for a while have heard me that I've been focusing on, which has been awesome. Because now it's not really about romantic relationships. It's about all relationships. Realizing like really healthy ways of being in relationships in general, which always has us focus more on our relationships with ourselves. And a big thing of that has been learning to love myself through the process of just anything that I'm learning and forgive myself really quickly for mistakes that I've made. And just knowing that if I continue to just take ownership for what I can take ownership of and allow myself to make mistakes if I make them, like that, just as easily as I'll forgive someone else who says they're sorry, like I deserve that same kind of love and compassion, which first gets to be given to ourselves. It's been really awesome. I'm seeing and feeling great changes within myself, but there's been this conscious awareness of I am choosing to date myself. And the hour meditation that I've been doing in silence in the hot tub has been really cool because I'm using all the tools that I teach our clients in the program in whatever way that they want to come up. So I'll feel into my body if there's any anxiety, if there's any stress or tension, I'll go into it. I might ask myself what age it is, the emotion that I'm feeling. And then sometimes I'll go back in and I'll use our reparenting tool to discover what the memory might be from myself at that age when that was whatever. And every single time, just like it is with my clients, it's always directly associated with whatever it is I'm dealing with in real time. And then just getting an opportunity. And what I saw the other day was like, wow, when you're dating somebody new, if you have any, like, if you get curious about, behavior and how people become the way that they are or whatever, um, yeah, like you'll be learning somebody new and you're like, oh, that makes sense. Like they're that way because this happened to them in their life, or they're this way because, their parenting style was like this, or, like, oh, wow, like they had grandparents who were like this and they really admire their grandparents. And so I can see how she's like that and how she might have attracted someone like me because of that. Maybe just because I'm in this work that I like always view people I meet in that regard to some extent. Um, in like a really happy to get to know you, kind of way. And like just appreciate your roots and who you are and just whatever. But I'm seeing that for myself because as these memories keep popping up, I'm like, oh, that's why you are the way you are, Leslie. Or like, oh, that's why, like your relationship history has been the way that it was. I'll give you an example. I had this, it was just like the age that came up, and it was like age 11. And there was like insecurity that came up around relationship. And age 11 was this time when I was in second grade or third grade, there was a boy who came up to me on Valentine's Day after all the kids give each other the Valentines in their little Valentine's box. Well, he came up to me at the end of the day in the line I was in. It must have been a girl's line or something. And I was totally shocked. And he had like an adult size card. And handed it to me, I think with like a little gift, or maybe it was just the card that year. And it like, stunned me because when you're in second or third grade, you don't talk to each other. It was just like out of nowhere. And so, okay, so now I have this special card, and then my little brain puts it together that like, oh, I'm a special person to this somebody, like, and you kind of like create in your mind what that love is, or I don't know, because you still don't talk to these kids. At least I didn't in those ages. So then the next holiday came and I got another special gift from him. And this went on through, I think, like fourth or fifth grade. And it was only on the holidays. But then I ended up in my closet. As a kid, I had taped up all of the things that he had given me in the closet. And I would just sit there and I would just like look at it and like it and like kind of like create this like, I don't know, fairy tale for myself. And then by the time I was 11, though, he had eyes for an older woman. It was like a girl in a grade like above me, and they started dating and like, I don't know, whatever. And just like, and when you're that young, it's like you never really talk about those things. It's just like the energy kind of stays out there. Like it's never closed up. You don't really have what it takes to really talk to friends about it, or like, you know what I mean? Like just don't really have the communication skills to apply it to feelings and like have it. You just don't. So at least I didn't at the time. So it was an energy that never got complete. And so I got to reparent myself using the reparenting tool of just being like, the way that it felt for me was confusing. Like, why didn't he like me anymore? Didn't he know that like I was the sweetest woman in the class? And like, like wanting him to like see me and understand me and stay with me or something. And then I got to, communicate back with her. And what I got out of that was like, you never actually even like specifically liked him. Like he was pretty shy and quiet. He wasn't the most confident. Like, yes, he was cute, but like he wasn't really like, he didn't really stand out to you. It was only because he liked you. And I got to see that, like, again, your whole life history shows itself based on those things that happen in your childhood. And then literally right after I came to completion with that energy of being like, it was like, okay, so now 11-year-old Leslie, like, what do you want to do now? And it was like, I just want to build something. Like now that I don't need to put my energy towards like making sure somebody likes me, which by the way was always what I was wanting to make sure, was that there was somebody in the world that liked me. Like that was like a survival thing for my unconscious mind. Well, now that that's gone and it's like I didn't even choose that person, and like no, like okay, it's fine, you know. I was like, well, what do you want to do, 11-year-old? It's like, I want to build something. I was like, what do you want to build? She had no idea what she wanted to build. But it was just like, wow, like I do always have an interest in, like I used to watch this old house on PBS with my dad, and like genuinely liked learning about like the different nuances of houses and how to fix them, and like how things work underneath the surface of things. And having my house, like I always, if I need any work done, I don't know how to do it, but I'm fascinated by like the whole process of like, oh, how do we clean the gutters, and how do we turn on the furnace, and how do we, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, so it's just like, wow, like what if that never happened? Like, and like I was just in my own lane. What if we were all just in our own lane and you're just doing your own thing and like living your life as a party of one? Some of you might already have families and like it's not really a party of one anymore, but it's never too late to create like what you're not doing that you would be doing if you were a party of one now, you know? And how much of our lives become like everything we created was out of like people pleasing, or out of wanting to be liked or loved, or wanting to achieve something, versus what if we could just like surrender and let it be. Either way, so right after I finished that and got that inspiration, and I was just like, cool, like I felt energetically like empowered in my own just lane, not in like any kind of like, forget anybody, like not an upset or angry or any kind of way. It was just like I just feel solid in my lane right now. I had on my calendar to watch, thanks to one of my clients, let me know that the USA England soccer game was on. And I went to a bar that I knew was like famous in this area for having the World Cup games on, and I had never actually gone before, and invited some people, but nobody was around, or it was too last minute or whatever. So I just drove down there, and the bar was packed. It was so packed, and I found a way to get all the way in there. I couldn't even get a drink, even if I wanted to drink a water. I couldn't have even gotten one. It was so packed, but that was fine. I didn't need anything. And I get all the way to the back of the bar, and sure enough, right in front of me is someone who I recognize from dodgeball. And I play dodgeball once a week. I don't like the game, but I forced myself. It's like a way to socialize, and it's been really fun. The people are really awesome that I've met through it. And anyway, it was kickball, and now it's dodgeball. I would rather play pickleball, but I did find some dodgeball people that like pickleball that are my age, so we'll have to pursue that at some point. Anyway, I say hi to this person from dodgeball, and then end up like meeting him and a couple of his friends. And it was just like, had that, because every time that we do inner work on ourselves, the way that we feel as we go through and do life, or the things that we receive almost instantaneously as the results of actually taking the time to go into yourself and feel your own feelings, or discover your own stories, or discover yourself on this even deeper, more intimate level of like, wow, Leslie, that's so cool. And like, that's what, oh, wow. Like that's another aspect that isn't who you are, but it has driven your entire life. Yeah, it's just almost instantaneous. So getting to see that, in my getting to know, like this one guy was clearly looking for a relationship at the end of the day, but was still just like very kind and not like attachy or whatever. And he asked me, we got to talking or whatever. And I was just like, oh yeah, I'm not dating right now. I'm kind of dating myself. I was always a chronic relationship person. So I'm really just focusing on, yeah, getting to know me and like being excited about that. And it was just like, it was just so refreshing to me to just like, to finally not be the person who was attached to there being anything. Now, could there still be parts of me that's like, oh, what if? Like, of course. But all of that to say, like that commitment to me and getting to know me seems just as, if not more exciting, than introducing any kind of partner. And like, I can just see myself as I'm getting onto this path of being more and more just like, I'm really liking this being with me thing, which we'll see where that leads. It could either lead to a forever like this with me and my girl here and maybe whatever other dogs we add to the mix in life. Or maybe I'll be blessed with a person who has a similar mission, and we're going to be able to help more people together, because that also has been a really big part of getting to know myself, is seeing just how mission driven I am and just how faith filled I am in believing that I have a purpose to fulfill on this planet, that I was given all of these amazing gifts and comforts and my smart brain and my family and my, town I grew up in and all the experiences that I've had, so that I can serve on a higher and higher level as I keep advancing myself and supporting other people to do the same thing. So my focus is continuing to just serve and love others and love myself as much as possible, and trust that I'll always be cared for as a result of that. And, I'm excited because we attract who we are. So, that will be my main driving point one day, is like, if I feel that we can serve in our own separate paths more powerfully together than separately. And that just feels really amazing. So, question for you: do you do any kind of inner work? Do you take time for yourself? Silent meditation? What are your thoughts on that? Because I'm just seeing, like, if I wasn't doing this stuff right now, like, how else can you get to it if you're not actually doing some observation within or some understanding of self deep down? I just feel like I've seen it happen to myself time and time again, including when Zara came into my life, of there being a direct correlation between my having awareness of some aspect of myself that I couldn't see before, and then, changing the belief, or letting go of some of the energy, or, reparenting or giving love and compassion or releasing emotion to myself, that there ends up being some kind of shift that happens as a result. So if you want some support with that, as always, you know how to find us right here on Facebook in our community group. If you're not a member already, please join, and let us know you're here. Just raise your hand. Or, if you don't have our free training, you text the word hypnosis to 1-855-BE-ALIVE. And there's a way to book a call on that page there. So love you guys so much. Here's to dating yourself. I know that the holidays can be a challenging time of year, whether you're single or you have someone that you love who has passed away, or maybe you're still grieving a divorce from the past, or just like these open-ended relationships that even if things got better, there can still be challenges happening in the background, because that's just how the unconscious mind works. So sending you guys so much love and support, and we'll see you next time. Bye. If you are serious about taking action on your struggle with food, body, and weight, then this is for you. Go ahead and text the word hypnosis to 855-BE-ALIVE. That's 855-232-5483. Immediately after texting that number, you will get access to our free training that will tell you why you can't figure the food, body, and weight thing out, why you can't keep weight off even after you've been successful in the past, and how to actually overcome it, including a mini hypnosis session at the end. Don't miss out. Text the word hypnosis to 855-BE-ALIVE. That's 855-232-5483.